other common mistakes do you see people make that are probably habits? They're under pressure, end of the quarter, got to get this done. Could be end of the year. This
Mhm.
could make or break a bonus for some people or a team. Give me 2 or 3 common mistakes that people make.
Sure, you bet. First one is, and I see this 80 to 90% of the times when I'm doing a training session on negotiations and we got them in a role play, it comes back to the quintessential, somebody just talks too much. They just are talking too much. They're not asking enough. Influence happens when you're listening. If they can get that concept in mind and keep the other person talking, then you start to pick up clues. You start to pick up what is the difference between their position versus their mission. Somebody may take a position on something, but that's not their ultimate mission. And the more you get your counterpoint talking, the more you'll have that information to be able to utilize to make good decisions. So ultimately, make sure you get them talking. The second one would be really entering in unprepared. If you're not prepared, if you haven't already thought about what are they going to ask, what's their position going to be, how am I going to respond, then you haven't prepared for the meeting, you haven't prepared, and that means, guess what, you're probably going to be at a disadvantage. I had one person, one of my clients call me and, said, hey, something, I was on my way home last night and I got a call from my prospect. And, here I am driving 70 miles an hour down the interstate. And now he wants to kind of dive in and negotiate the deal. And he said to me, he goes, I remember saying, look, don't negotiate anything when you're not prepared. He said, so he was able to get off the phone and schedule the call for the first thing that next morning, because he knew that if they got into it right then, he was nowhere near ready to deal with the strategies and such that he needed to really grasp and get his head around. And then lastly is really, the easiest one is making a unilateral concession. That just means you're giving up something without getting something in return. And that something in return could be a commitment. It could be, obviously in a decision, but it also could be a referral. It could be a white paper that's done. In business, there's a lot of things that you can ask for that don't necessarily relate to money and currency and or around the deal that might be able to position you really well somewhere down the line. So just make sure you're not giving up, because if you do, think about it when you go to buy something and somebody says, oh yeah, we'll knock 10% off. If they did it that easy, don't you feel like you should have asked for more? And that's really the idea of unilateral concessions, getting something once you get something up.